Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? He going home. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is it good to you? Is it good to hear the things that I do? I'm gonna take you higher. Oh, I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone's looking down, edgy and dull, and no 6-inch fire through the middle of my soul. But at night I wake up with the sheets soaking wet and the freight train running through the middle of my head. You cool my desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Hey, little girl, is your daddy home? He going all morning. Not a bad desire. Oh, I'm on fire. Tell me now, baby, is it good to you? Is it good to hear the things that I do? I'll take you higher. Ooh, I'm on fire. Sometimes it's like someone telling me they ain't going to 6-inch fire through the middle of my soul.
Wake up with the sheets soaking wet and the freight train running through the middle of my head.
You know I'm not one to break promises. I don't want to hurt you, I need to breathe. Never at all, you're still my best friend. Yeah. It's something inside that I need to leave. Which way is right? Which way is wrong? I just say that I need to go on. You know you can't away. And
just too close to love you. I did really say I am not alone. I cannot no longer consider myself. And it feels like I am just too close to love you. I'll be on my way. I'll be on my way. Would you know my name if I saw you in heaven? Would it be the same?
This one's for Ryan Sanders. Goes out to Alex for sticking by him through all the times that he's been away in the Navy. So, this one's for you. Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let it go. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let it go. And you let it go. Staring at the bottom of your glass, hoping one day you'll make the dream last. But dreams come slow and they go so fast. You see it when you close your eyes. Maybe one day you'll understand why everything you touch slowly dies. But you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let it go. Yeah. Only know you've been high when you're low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let it go. Staring at the ceiling in the dark, same old empty feeling in your heart. Cause love comes slow and it goes so fast. Well, you see when you fall asleep, but never to touch and never to keep. Cause you loved her too much and you died too much. Yeah. Well, you only need the light when it's burning low. Only miss the sun when it starts to snow. Only know you love her when you let it go. Yeah. Only know you've been high when you're feeling low. Only hate the road when you're missing home. Only know you love her when you let it go. And you let it go. We touch, I feel a rush. We clutch, it isn't much, but it's enough to make me wonder what's in store for us. It's lust, it's torturous. You must be a sorceress, cause you just did the impossible. Gain my trust, don't play games, it'll be dangerous if you put me over. Cause if I get burnt, I'ma show you what it's like to hurt. Cause I've been treated like dirt before you, and love is evil. Spell it backwards, I say it. Nobody knows me, I'm cold. Walk down this road all alone. It's no one's fault but my own. The path I've chosen to grow. Moving in snow, I show no emotion whatsoever. So don't ask me why I have no love for this mud. What's up, consumptious? So what the fuck is up with this? I'm tried in this department, but I ain't have no luck with this. It's up, but it's exactly what I thought it would be like. Trying to start over, I got a hole in my heart, some kind of emotional roller coaster, so that I won't go until you throw with my emotions and it's over. It's like an explosion when I hold you. Wasn't joking when I told you. You take my breath away, it was supernova. And now my skin felt like a ship in your heart into blue. And I made it on the first page of our story, the future seemed so bright. Then the same turned out so evil. I don't know why I'm still surprised. Even angels have their wicked schemes. My mama calls when you on TV, says some things have changed. Ever since you was when I dreamed it all. Ever since I was young, they said I would be done. Now they only say congratulations. Worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. And they ain't never had the dedication. People hate and say we changed, but look, we made it. Yeah, we made it. It was no friendly. Now I'm jumping out of bed, and I know I'm trying to bad it, but I know I had to have it. For the money, I'm a savage. I'll be itching like an addict. I'm surrounded by them baggers, but they didn't know me last year. And everyone acting like they was involved, but all that mean nothing when I saw my dog. And everyone counting on me off the ball. Yeah. Everything causing like I'm at the bottom. Everyone acting like they was involved, but all that mean nothing when I saw my dog. And everyone counting on me off the ball. Yeah. Everything causing like I'm at the bottom. If you mess with a plan, put your lighters to the sky. How could I make sense when I got millions on my mind? Come in with that bullet, I'ma push it to the side. Falling Cincinnati, you see it in my eye. Right out of the sun. When I started balling, I was young. They go buy me when I'm gone. I need that money like a ring I never won. I'm saucing on you. I'm slagging on you. I'm balling like the sun on you. Watch out, yeah. That's my shot, yeah. I'm spending all of my pay. My mama called,
Seen you on TV, said some things have changed. Ever since I was young, I drink it all. Ever since I was young, they said I would be nothing. Now they only say congratulations. I worked so hard, forgot how to vacation. And they ain't never had the dedication. People hate and say we changed, but look, we made it. Yeah, we made it. My mama called, seen you on TV, said some things have changed ever since you was young. I know you used to sit and wondered why, babe. Even if you don't know by now. I know you used to sit and wondered why, babe. They'll never do somehow. Well, the rooster crows at the break of dawn. Look out your window and I'll be gone. You're the reason I'm traveling on. Don't think twice, it's alright. And you know you should turn it on your light, babe. The light I never know. And you know you should turn it on your light, babe. I'm on the dark side of the road. And I wish there was something you would do or say to try to make me change my mind and stay. You never did, too much talking anyway. So don't think twice, it's alright. So I know you just called out my name, girl, like you never done before. And I know you just called out my name, girl. I can't hear you anymore. I'm thinking and wondering, I'm walking down the road. I once loved a woman, a child I'm told. I gave her my heart, but she wanted my soul. Don't think twice, it's alright. So long, honey, babe. Where I'm bound, I can't tell. Goodbye's too good a word, babe. So I just say farewell. I ain't saying you treated me unkind. You could have done better, but I don't mind. You just kinda wasted my precious time. So don't think twice, it's alright. Destruction and turmoil. This is the fire that will wait for business, or we stand united in our discomfort. We're growing stronger every summer. We stay awake while the others slumber. I'm breathing deep to every little piece of their wonder if I'll stay strong enough, long enough. Yeah, because they don't fight fair, they turn on the people. Forgot where they are from. Forgot that the air that they breathe in is the same that fills our lungs. We could be angry, we could be violent, we could stand by, we could be silent, or we could. This is the
that changes the war of ages that they wage while we pay their wages. We could say, say 1, 2, 3, say that we've been here before. And it's about time they remember who it is they working for. We know the strength and the power in the persistence. So respect our existence, so respect our resistance every time, yeah. Expect our resistance every time. People gonna hold tight, said it's gonna go get better with them. Time after time we do what they do for us, we forgive them. It's gone on down for a bit too long, since my granddad was born. Lying to us about the family, trying to keep us torn. But now I see that doesn't them, said it's only a game to you. Cause when we talk to one another, said we know that ain't true. Cause I said I am you and you are me. We are one with family. It's only them who want to see us turn away from unity. We could be angry, we could be violent, we could stand by, we could be silent, or we could resist the changes, the war of ages that they wage while we pay their wages. We could say, we could say 1, 2, 3, say that we've been here before. It's about time they remember who it is they working for. Cause we know the strength and the power in the persistence. So respect our existence, so respect our resistance every time, yeah. Expect our resistance every time. There isn't us in them, but it ain't me and you. There isn't us in them, but it ain't me and you. There isn't us in them, but it ain't me and you.
What's cracking? What's bracking, internet world? This is another original of mine on my Wilted Petals alias thing, acoustic project, whatever. This one's called Rainy Days, and I've been writing it over the course of the last 3 or 4 months because it's been a really weird and surreal song to write. So I hope you dig it. Oh, these rainy days when everything's so far away, I am barely even human in these empty tidal waves. I never missed you or your smile or those kisses that you gave. Obviously not at all. What even makes you think that way? Fuck. Oh, these rainy days, a sense of Patrick and June, they just remind me of those days that I spent trailing after you. And all good things die young, like that tree in my backyard. I often wish we'd had a chance to climb it skyward in our cars, but not every hand is dealt quite the way you hope and wish. Watch our house of kings and aces topple over in your midst.
Wowzer.
There's a monster under my bed, and at my window there's a dragon. I accepted the challenge and turned me into a savage. I broke the promise to myself again. I don't know why I am so vulnerable. They try to help, but I'm all the man. I guess rock bottom's where I'm comfortable. Both my feet planted when most people would have panicked. I embraced the storm. I found beauty in what was damaged. I'm not afraid of the man. Instead I look at him like he's a friend. There's not a monster out there in the world that's scarier than the one that's within. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demons screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window is like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down. I say the snow, I'm headed so. The religious freaks sing the biggest beast in the way they grow. When I say the slow, I pray them more. Creatures are like waves, I'm like I'm a breathing night, but I'm faded low. By the darkness I'm blinded, I sparked it and shined it. They find it, cause mine is woe. Oh, that they live on me and even see why the staples currency and greed. Enemy families in greed. Oh, you would not believe the creature inside me. If you just see it, could leave us alive. We disagree when people define me. What's ridiculous? Whatever the fuck were you taught me, you don't want to break this. You forsake is what is sacred, and it's over no matter what your faith is. I'm a creature. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demons screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window is like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down. Yeah, I'm back to get myself in trouble all this pain. Yeah, I'm down to double dose, always to blame. If I or I keep my hands to myself. I take a shot and it's over, that's how I end up in hell. I hope it don't pass down to my offspring. They get everything from the daddy, feel like I'm addicted to all things. There's no reason to change, gone too far now. I'm stuck in my ways, back at the bar now. They say I'm a flirt and they write, I ain't perfect tight. So when I'm thirsty and perfect and purposely searching for something that's hurting me so, I just get back up and go. I just back out of the show, that's how it go. I never back out of the hole, and next I have to know. I think you be laughing at me, hands be grabbing at me. Feel like all that happened to me, that be blasphemy. Please let it happen naturally. I think I better let it go. Either that I gotta let them know, and I can't do that. There's a creature in my closet. I can hear him rumbling around. The demons screaming in the distance creates such a humbling sound. The monster that's outside my window is like family to me now. The things that people are afraid of never let me down.
What if the love that I'm missing is finally taking control? What if the drugs in my system are finally taking a toll? What if I bleed over the sea? My head off. Lord, what I
right now. Only place I ain't a mess up. Only place for me to be right now. Oh, only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. What if the darkness inside of me's finally taking my soul? What if the angels in heaven were sent to take me home? Fight through the tears that I have been my life. Lord, I'm believing eventually see the light. I don't wanna wake up, living in a dream right now. I'm a place ain't a mess up. Place for me to be right now. Oh, only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right when I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. What if the moon disappeared and the sun doesn't light up the sky? What if the freedom we're seeking was only inside of our minds? What if our love? What if I give my all? Lord of love, please catch me when I fall. I don't wanna wake up, living in a dream right now. Looks like I mess up. Looks for me to be right now. Oh, only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. I'm doing wrong. Only feel right. 3:30 in the morning, not a soul in sight. City's looking like a ghost town on a moonless summer night. Raindrops on the windshield, that storm moving in. He's headed back from somewhere that he never should have been. And the thunder rolls, and the thunder rolls. Every light is burning in a house across town. She's pacing by the telephone.
Good. Why can't anything play?
I'm on my bullshit bar stool, pimping on southern fried chicken, on whiskey so dog it's day. And she told me last summer that she lost her only lover because he got himself locked away. He was cooking meth tripping, she was on a pole stripping, just American as apple pie. Now she's looking for a lover because she wanna be a mother, trying to show me that she's ride or die. She look a little bit weathered, but she's down for whatever, and she probably knows a trick or two. Says she got a few friends, if you got a couple hands, boy, they probably let you fuck them too. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, drinking with some trouble till start to see double and they put me in city jail. Now sometimes you make problems and the only way to solve them is to always walk around with bail. Now I lost a few nights and I lost a couple fights, blacked out on a whiskey bench. Need a whole lot of ticks, fucked a bunch of hot chicks and a couple that would make you cringe. Got to keep it 100, I say it if I done it, don't give a fuck about how you feel. All you cheaters and liars with your cheap amplifiers talking about how you keeping it real. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, low temp dabbing, pistol grip grabbing. I'm a chrome-plated man still, severely underrated, occasionally I'm hated cause I like to tell it how I feel. When push comes to shove, got a whole lot of love for the people that been holding me down. Made a whole lot of ends and I kept a few friends whole time I've been fucking around. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit, smoking and drinking, just wasting my time. No worrying, no thinking, more women, more wine. I'm on my bullshit.
Motherfucker was on his bullshit. Oh my gosh.
I've been traveling around this road too long, just trying to find my way back home. The old me is dead and gone.
that.
The world getting crazy, baby, chill. Don't medicate, just meditate. You waking up now, well, baby, you hella late. Educate, look at what's going on, let it resonate, accelerate. Find your inner hunger like you never ate. Agenda is to push the hate. Separate and segregate, don't celebrate quite yet. The storm is coming, cue for heaven's sake. Violence that they demonstrate, instigating, penetrating the values of our country. And our God is what they desecrate. My fighters ain't no featherweight, pulling out the seams of the fabric that they fabricate. They feed us lies, manipulate, intimidate through fear and force, forcing us to sit and wait till we come together, congregate, and then we liberate. Praying that you give me strength to find some love amongst the hate. Marching on the streets of blood till I see the golden gates. Troubadour, troubled souls, one of God's servants. Blades out, cut the grass till we see the serpent.
Oh, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with lies and abusers. We need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
I know the truth is hard to swallow, just digest it. Suspected something's going on, chosen just neglected, deflected by some breaking news. Or we just accepted, expected just to fall in line and follow their perspective. Don't question their objectives, but I got a lot of questions. How these kids molested, but nobody's been arrested. Read it in the Testament, these children are protected. So I'm fighting all these terrorists, both foreign and domestic. Refuse to be directed, lying not a sheep. Only kneel to my God, so I'm dying on my feet. Silence when we speak, but there's violence in the street. I've been rolling with the punches, I can't take it on the cheap. Nah, drink from a glass half full, I'm optimistic. People are sadistic, so vicious and malicious. Praying for assistance to overcome opposition, or I'm gonna start resisting and then I'll pray for forgiveness.
Oh, one day I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God, come back home. This crazy world is filled with liars and abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now. We need you now. We need you now. One day, one day, one day, I hope you see the truth. This puppet show, it stays on because of you fools. We've been dancing with the devil way too long. I know it's fun, but get ready to pay your dues. Oh God. abusers. Need you now before we're too far gone. I hope one day they finally see the truth. God, we need you now.
Really close to the ball, y'all, but everybody in the track is done. I play records real quick. I don't know what to play song. Shit, pop. I just recorded right this remix last night. And when I saw you featuring somebody fucking high, y'all. I'm riding there down the fire with a light shining, cause it's so gone. My mind is so gone. I'm living reckless, southbound road, every shine, 430 the fast lane, cause it's so gone. Man, I'm so gone. I'm living reckless, woke up, chilling back with all the while that I'm feeling my steps on how to get just a bullshit. Before I cheat like a soul, I know I'm bad with broken man. That's why I speak for my soul's bitch to the shoulder. One thing just been checked, they say I'm tired. My person was so sorry, these boots right up the star on the cover star. I feel like I'm really strong, got these stars. Look, show all the days strong, they got to raise my heads on the wall. Come on, this ain't just sick. Realize that people they real fans to find. Why is the city full of so comfortable? I'm riding down the fire with the fire of the shining, cause I'm so gone. My mind is so gone. I'm living reckless, southbound road and every shine, 430 in the fast lane, cause I'm so gone. Man, I'm so gone. I'm living reckless, just wanna wait for the one go see it stands started good through some sense. Thought I'd be a man called opposites. I never looked up with no disregard. I wouldn't change the class of y'all. Take a look around, man, horns come started in here. So I know it's come best thing, something you fall with others. The world's tripping, less on it. Right is right, that's why we call it a moment. Time still how it could. White black still call me mother. Open your eyes, see the ones. I get back down, I ain't never start. You can start, I'm taking fronts. I'm riding dirty down 95 with a mile of shine. So gone. I'm ever so gone. I'm living reckless, southbound road and chain. I'm 430 in the fast lane, cause I'm so gone. Man, I'm so gone. I'm living reckless. I'm living reckless. I'm living reckless. I'm living reckless. That's what's fucking going on.
Take away my eyes, take away my ears, take it all away from me. Take away my arms, take away my knees, you can blame it all on me.
Take away my heart, take away my soul, take it all away from me. Take away my dreams, take away my goals, you can blame it all on me. Cause I'm a mess and now I'll always be. Do you wanna stick around and see me drown? Fuck, I'm about to lose it all.
Cause I'm a drunk and I will always be begging, baby, take my hand before I fall. Take away my shirt, take away my shoes, take it all away from me.
Take away my guilt, take away my shame, you can blame it all on me.
Take away my love, take away my hate, take it all away from me. Take away my fears, take away my faith, you can blame it all on me. Cause I'm a mess and I will always be. Do you wanna stick around and see me drown? Fuck, I'm about to lose it all. Cause I'm a drunk and I will always be. Begging, baby, take my hand before I fall back down. Fuck, I'm about to lose it all. Oh, baby, won't you come back for me? Oh, baby, won't you come back for me? So take it all away from me. Oh, yeah. Take it all away from me. Pick it up.
Synchronicity, meaning and quantum origins. Let's talk about synchronicities, why they happen, and what they mean. A synchronicity, or sync for short, is a strange coincidence that you're meant to notice. Carl Jung defined them as meaningful coincidences, as two or more events that are physically unrelated yet somehow connected in a spooky or metaphysical way. I prefer to think of them in a more general way as meaningful improbabilities. So they're not just random coincidences or products of confirmation bias, but genuine anomalies in experience that grab your attention. Now, syncs are really important. They're personal proof that reality is sometimes malleable, sometimes unstable, sometimes responsive to consciousness. Einstein was right when he said reality is illusion, albeit a persistent one. Syncs prove that this world behaves more like a collective dream or a matrix simulation than an independent physical construct. The idea that physical reality is somehow its own independent thing is based on outdated 1800s science. For over a century now, quantum physics has proven that physical events are ultimately determined by metaphysical factors, meaning reality is shaped by consciousness. Synchronicities are one manifestation of that fact. So why do syncs happen and what do they mean? That actually depends on the type of sync. There are different kinds with different causes. Let's look at a few. Precursor syncs. The first are precursor syncs. These show up a couple hours or days before a troubling, distressing, or precarious event in your life, almost like rolling thunder preceding an impending storm. That's because the upcoming event is a messy, energetic spot on your timeline and your corner of reality is becoming unstable in advance of it. Precursor syncs also happen when your future is in flux, like when you're going back and forth on a major life decision that greatly affects your future. When the future is indeterminate and massively fluctuating like that, it's unstable, and so the present becomes unstable too by proximity since time is one big continuum. Unstable conditions mean that improbabilities happen. Why? Well, according to quantum physics, what we call normal reality is simply the most stable, probable, and predictable path that everyone and everything can take. So when reality becomes unstable, that means it becomes less normal, meaning more weird. It becomes less predictable, meaning more surprising. And it becomes less probable, meaning more synchronistic. So to recap, precursor sinks are a side effect of an upcoming instability, which tends to be a distressing or precarious situation where the outcome is in flux. Deviation sinks. Then there are deviation sinks, which happen when you suddenly deviate from your most probable course of action. That means doing something genuinely improbable, something that in most of your immediate probable futures you didn't do. For example, it can be something that goes against the momentum of your programming, your circumstance, your habits, and your feelings at that moment. All these things are pushing you towards your most mechanical and probable outcome, so going against them means defying determinism. When you do something unlikely for an extended period, you deviate onto a less probable future, and this produces other improbabilities which we experience as deviation sinks. So whereas precursor sinks come before an unstable area of your timeline, deviation sinks typically come during and after. Now, one of the keys to understanding synchronicity is that improbabilities tend to come in clusters. One improbability begets another. If you do something improbable, chances are that you'll attract another improbability. That's because you're deviating onto an improbable timeline that, due to its improbability, likely contains other improbable aspects. Consciousness and non-determinism. This brings up an important point, which is that something outside this reality, something beyond linear time, is needed if events are to deviate from their default outcome. Without that metaphysical factor, everything would be mechanically deterministic. Everything would be mere material cause and effect, dominoes knocking down dominoes from the beginning to the end of time, with no surprises or deviations. For the dominoes to change direction and touch off a new chain, a hand must reach down and rotate one so that it falls into a new line. That's what happens every time we exercise our free will. So consciousness is the non-physical factor that creates improbabilities. Or, as quantum physics would say, the conscious observer is what produces non-determinism and piecewise stochastic behavior. What this ultimately means is that the more sentient you are, the more volition or agency you have, the more of an improbability you represent in this world. And since improbabilities beget more improbabilities, the lives of such walking anomalies are anomalous entities outside time. But in truth, it's not just our consciousness that can create improbabilities and therefore synchronicities. Anything at all from outside linear time that tampers with the course of events here can do that. Examples include aliens and occult entities who meddle in our lives. Think about it. They are outside linear time, and if what they do affects what you do, then you're no longer doing the original thing you would have done. Rather, you are now doing what wasn't originally supposed to happen, meaning you're going down an improbable pathway, and as a result you will experience improbabilities like deviation sinks. So if you're someone who has a high degree of agency and you've been influenced by entities outside time, you become a real anomaly in this world, and that comes with experiencing more anomalies in life. It's worth noting that since otherworldly beings are themselves anomalous, and like attracts like, a big feedback loop can arise where the more they affect you, the more you attract them. Now, some beings purposely seek out people who are already anomalous due to having a greater degree of sentience and awareness. That includes benevolent aliens and positive spiritual entities, who are looking to guide and influence those among us who stand out. But it also includes negative aliens and demonic entities looking to study and suppress those who aren't following the program. These negative forces also go after people who are of low awareness and are easily manipulated, to use them as puppets or probes to manipulate the rest of us. I mention all this because certain people experience a high degree of paranormal activity and synchronicity in their lives, and there are reasons why those two phenomena go hand in hand in their case. It might have to do with the uncommon quality of their consciousness and choices, and the fact that their lives have been heavily altered by influences beyond time. Expansion sinks. All right, let's get back to synchronicities and talk about expansion sinks. These happen when we go through a significant moment of spiritual growth or transformation. That includes going through a period of insight and revelation regarding higher truths about existence or about yourself. The sudden change in your being, your essence, acts like a bubble suddenly expanding and sending ripples out in all directions. Not only is that an improbable event where you're shifting to a new set of futures due to the change in your personal characteristics, but your being is expanding and perturbing the very fabric of existence. These things can induce expansion sinks. Expansion sinks tend to be symbolic, linked at the archetypal level to the nature of the transformation. So you can use a dream dictionary to decode them, as the archetypes exist at the subconscious level, which is also where dreams derive their symbols from. Message sinks. Related to expansion sinks are message sinks, which are symbolic messages sent in the form of a meaningful improbability. Message sinks are better known as signs or omens. They're like dream symbols, except they happen while we're awake. It can be a recurring number you keep seeing, or a certain animal or insect, or anything really that fulfills the function of a sign that conveys a meaningful message. Message sinks can be encouraging in the sense of confirming a decision you just made, or letting you know that all is good and that you're going in the right direction. Or they can be foreboding in the sense of giving you a heads up that something bad is about to happen, or that there's a harmful person or influence in your life, or that you're treading down a dangerous path. Now, message sinks are intentionally directed at you, and they carry symbolic meanings that can be decoded. Like with dream symbols, the meaning may be universal or vary somewhat from person to person. The best way to decode recurring message sinks is to log when they happen and the circumstances surrounding them. After several occurrences, you can connect the dots and guess at a meaning. Then you can test your guess the next time the same message sink arises. Once you decode your recurring message sinks, you can use them as reliable indicators of what's happening or what's coming up. Now, what about times when you're only getting negative message sinks, bad omens? That means either you're heading in a dark direction or a darkness is heading towards you. If you're going in a dark direction due to unwise choices, check yourself and make corrections. If darkness is going towards you, be vigilant and take preventative measures to head off whatever is about to erupt in your life. The fact that message sinks can even happen shows that there's a strong connection between waking reality and dreams. The connection, of course, is that both are ultimately generated by consciousness. The difference is that in dreams we are immersed in an environment generated by our own subconscious, while in the waking world the environment is generated by a collective or universal subconscious, one that the ancient Greeks called the demiurge. If you think of it in terms of video games, dreams are like playing an offline game on your own PC, while reality is using that same PC to connect to an online multiplayer environment. The demiurge is the central server that coordinates the various locally run instances of the game. So when Einstein said reality is an illusion, albeit a persistent one, that's saying reality is made of the same stuff as dreams, but functionally it's more persistent due to the collective subconscious holding it in place. But since our personal subconscious is plugged into the collective subconscious, it can affect its own corner of this collective dream we call reality. Manifestation sinks. And so that brings up the next category, which is manifestation sinks. That's where something you see or hear is a direct physical manifestation of a thought or subconscious wish you dwelled upon earlier. Of course, whenever that happens, the question is, was the event going to happen all along and you merely had a psychic moment of precognition foreshadowing it? Or did your thought literally cause that event to happen through an act of reality creation? Both are possible and both do happen, but the latter is what I mean by a manifestation sink. Manifestation sinks happen when you dwell on something in a certain state of mind, which causes your subconscious to influence reality and externally manifest a reflection of that thought. The interesting thing about manifestation sinks is that the physical events needed to make them happen extend into the past, often prior to the originating thought. It's as if you somehow influence the past to shape the present. Sounds impossible? Well, as it turns out, that's completely in line with quantum physics, which has experimentally proven that a choice made in the present can reach back in time and influence the past. It seems the future isn't the only thing that's open, the past is open too. Manifestation sinks don't violate the laws of physics, rather they are a direct consequence of quantum principles. Artificial sinks. Now let's get into something we all need to watch out for, which are artificial sinks. They seem like synchronicities but actually aren't. They're staged for the purpose of deception to make you think it's a sign from the universe, but really it's a ploy to negatively influence your beliefs and decisions. Non-human entities like demons and negative aliens are known for pulling this trick. To give an example, imagine if an attractive girl or guy comes up to you on the street and hands you a small book by a certain guru and tells you it has all the answers you seek. And later that afternoon you get an email from an old acquaintance you haven't heard from in years, mentioning this same book. And later that evening you find a flower petal on your pillow from the same type of flower the guru is posing with on the book cover. What would you make of that? Many people would be taken in by the magical nature of these improbabilities and take it as a sign to pursue that path, not knowing that this guru is actually a psychic vampire who pushes spiritual disinformation. And yet, somewhere within, intuition will be screaming no, but some will ignore that warning and rationalize it away. Now, believe it or not, this kind of thing happens more often than people realize. Dark entities fish for gullible people all the time by orchestrating and dangling artificial sinks like this. The thing to remember is that if both your logic and intuition indicate something doesn't add up, then don't ignore these. Don't let occult parlor tricks amaze you into throwing your inner compass and brain out the window. Another thing to note is that the negative entities who orchestrate artificial sinks are relatively crude and ham-fisted in their abilities compared to the abilities of our own subconscious or higher self or higher positive beings on the level of what we might call angels. What negative entities do have in their toolbox is varying degrees of telepathy and basic poltergeist or object materialization phenomena. These are parlor tricks they use to deceive those who don't know any better. For them, telepathy is the easiest, so most of the time they just manipulate the thoughts and urges of people who are being mindless. So we have to be careful of that possibility and not blindly trust every synchronicity. Artificial sinks are bold, direct, literal, manipulative, and they play to our ego and wishful thinking. Opportunity sinks. Lastly, on a brighter note, there are opportunity sinks. They're like artificial sinks except they're arranged by positive beings, including your own higher self, and they're orchestrated with far greater elegance, finesse, poetry, and competence than what negative entities can accomplish. They're the right opportunity at the right time to help advance your destiny, your story, whether to get you out of a tough spot or open up a new pathway in your life. Opportunity sinks can be very improbable, but they also seem to fall into place naturally and gracefully. So they are the epitome of serendipity. Opportunity sinks are lucky breaks that act as a fun plot device to advance the story of your life. The signature of an opportunity sink is that it brings you a sense of relief and gladness when you encounter it, and intuitively you feel frictionless and even enthusiastic about it. There's a concordance, an alignment, from top to bottom. Contrast this with an artificial sink where even when the ego is rubbing its hands with glee, deep down you'll feel an emptiness or resistance that, in less attuned people, is typically shouted down by wishful thinking and rationalizing self-talk. Recap. Alright, so that covers the major types of sinks you might have: precursor, deviation, expansion, message, manifestation, artificial, and opportunity sinks. Don't get hung up on the terminology. What matters are the concepts, the reality, and how to apply this knowledge. When you encounter a synchronicity, ask yourself these questions. Could it be a precursor to something coming up soon? Did I just do something improbable that may have induced this? Did I manifest this by dwelling on it earlier? Is this a message, a sign, an omen? If so, what does it mean? If this is an intentional message, is it trying to steer me down a wrong path? Or is this a serendipitous opportunity that I feel completely at ease with? And what does it mean when you don't get any synchronicities for a while? You'll notice that those are times when you're moving along in a steady, predictable, and unremarkable way in life. Alternatively, you could be so in tune with your higher self and subconscious that these parts of you don't need to edit reality to send you a message since they have a direct connection already. The surest way to banish synchronicities is to bury yourself in 3D material mundanity and make no waves. Just keep your head down and stick to routine. Which probably describes the majority of people today. Inducing sinks. You might be wondering if there's anything we can do to induce more synchronicities. And the answer is yes, there are a couple things you can do. The first thing is to think about them more often, to embed them into your worldview as being natural and expected, and to adopt a childlike attitude of magic and wonder about reality. This neutralizes the effects of skepticism and mundanity that might be keeping them away. It also uses the manifestation principle by attracting whatever you're resonating with and focusing on. Once you start doing this, you can simply let go and let reality surprise you. The second thing you can do is grow and transform yourself through the power of insight, revelation, and discovery. To do that, you have to spend more time being curious, contemplative, introspective, fascinated, open-minded, and eager to learn. That means read, watch, observe, write, and contemplate deeply on yourself and the world. That's the exact opposite of the glib lifestyle that modern society tends to encourage, so it'll be difficult for some, but it'll be worth it for more reasons than just synchronicity, because changes in your inner life always produce changes in your outer life. And the third thing you can do is identify what urges, impulses, feelings, and thoughts come from your social and biological programming, and which come from your inner spiritual core and spiritual intelligence. The spiritual core, which is the seat of your sentience and free will, is the only thing in you that's not a product of matter, energy, space, and time. Therefore, it's outside linear time and is capable of defying causality and probability. The more you act from your spiritual intelligence and true intuition, the less probable the path you walk, the more improbabilities will be found on that path. Conclusion. What it all boils down to is this. Millions of people have had genuine synchronicities and written about them for centuries. Synchronicities are a personal reminder that reality is something other than what we're told it is. As time goes on, more and more people will begin waking up to that fact. It's going to take science another couple hundred years to accept and understand this, but fortunately you can access and experience that truth right now by paying attention to your synchronicities.
Greetings and blessings to you all. The time has come for the earth to shake off her cloak of misery. The treacheries, tragedies, and atrocities in the last 10 years have cast a shroud of misery over much of the human race, but it is lifting, even if it may not be apparent to many. Cast your eyes to the sky on any given day and you may see, even just for a moment, golden light penetrating the earth. It will not be coming from the sun, yet it will be as radiant as the sun and be streaming directly from the sky. It may glimmer on the horizon or sparkle on the water. This light is the golden ray of truth, and it has been activated by light workers across the globe who have brought the light and love of the Creator into their hearts and then directed it at the world. In unifying their healing thoughts, meditations, and prayers through the energies of the angels, masters, and the crystalline light workers grid, the result has been the creation of the golden ray. These way showers see and know the truth of ascension and what is really happening in the physical world, and they have united and aligned their energies, sometimes purposefully and other times unconsciously, to bring the divine love of the Creator and the Christ consciousness to the world. The result has been to counteract the darkness and negativity that continuously threatens to overwhelm the global human consciousness. Although it may seem that all on Earth is in turmoil in so many ways, there are many new energies that are now emanating from Mother Earth as a result of the work of light workers across the planet. These energies are iridescent, calming, healing, and of pure essence, and they emerge from Mother Earth herself as she comes into alignment with planets outside her solar system, merging her energies with theirs. The vibrations are of pure oneness and the colors are many, such as deep purples, blues, pinks, yellows, greens, and white. The magnanimity of these energies cannot be overstated, as they have the power to assist humanity to rise above the fear-mongering of those who have encompassed lower and darker energies. The reason many of you reincarnated was to save Mother Earth and to help her ascend. Now is the time to answer the calling of your soul, harness the new energies emerging from the earth in harmony with the universe, and send them out from your being with loving intention. The energies emanating from Mother Earth may be seen as rainbows, shards of colored light, or even as extensions of the sunrise or sunset. They are directly connected to your sacred fire and your solar power center. Connection to Mother Earth is integral to every human being on Earth, so everyone has the capacity to harness the new energies of ascension for the greater good if they wish. To do this, follow this simple meditation. Focus your energy in your sacral chakra and hold the intention of connecting to your sacred fire. You may see or imagine the fire burning as a threefold flame. Send the energy of your sacred fire down to Mother Earth with the intention of connecting to and harnessing the new energies of ascension. See, feel, or know the colors as they merge with your sacred fire and the light of the Creator that streams in from your crown chakra. Then, See the earth in your mind's eye and ask that the energies be sent with loving intention and in the highest and best way to the areas that need the most healing as you send the energies forth as light and love from your heart space. For instance, you may see the color green and, as you send it out to the earth, you will have a knowing that the energy is healing all of the trees and forests on the earth. With practice and focused intention, this emanation will occur whenever you merely think of it. It is also possible, as you connect with the new energies from Mother Earth, to consciously harness the knowledge that is being sent to Earth from its sister planets as spiraling light. This universal knowledge, which is intended to assist and accelerate the ascension of humanity, is of the highest vibration and accessible to those whose intentions are for the greater good and of the utmost integrity. When combined with the beautiful color and light being emanated from Mother Earth, this universal knowledge becomes activated and takes form as thought. Anyone who harnesses the knowledge and energies together to send out to the earth will not only raise the vibrations of the world, but will find themselves knowing and speaking of things they did not previously know. They will also become inclined to be spiritual tutors, mentors, writers, and activists for world peace and ascension. More importantly, they will find people listening to them and making personal changes for the better. When one makes positive changes, it cannot help but ripple out to and affect those around you. Love is the only emotion that is real and the only vibration that can save your planet. Disconnection from the drama that surrounds you and reconnection with your higher self, which knows your true purpose and your soul journey, is essential now. It will help you to connect with your ethereal self, your guides, and the Creator Himself, whose energy is that of oneness and unconditional love and is the only energy that will allow the world to be viewed with no judgment. Those of you who are awakened will be aware of these emerging energies and will know how to harness them and to spread them to the world. It is essential that you teach others and help those around you to become aware and awake also. Call upon the golden ray of truth to help you to become more consciously aware of the misguided truths, deliberate illusions, and cloaks of deceit that have been woven by those who wish to keep the human race in the third dimension. If you see it, and even if you don't, visualize it entering your heart space through your crown chakra and hold it there, immersing yourself in its radiant energy. Ask to be shown what you can do to help the human race to raise its energies to a higher level of peace, oneness, and unconditional love. Marked changes in the vibrations of the world are occurring and becoming more noticeable as people awaken and consciously send healing energies to the earth. If you have been doing so, you are to be commended. The changes will be even greater as the combined earth and universal energies are grounded and sent with loving intention through as many awakened human vessels as possible. The power that these energies have on the vibrations of the human consciousness cannot be overestimated. Ask us, the Masters of Light, to assist you and to magnify the energy. You will be amazed at the results. We are Lord Melchizedek and Lord Cathode. Channel, Victoria Copland. Thanks for watching. Much love and light.
Dear sons and daughters of planet Earth, I am Maria. Once again I bring my mantle with me, but I bring a mantle for each one who is here at the moment, and I put it on each one of you. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you are of the light or not. My mantle is available to everyone and I would always love everyone equally. The moment you are going through is a turbulent moment where it seems that a large cauldron is boiling inside your bodies. I already see many here answering, why the cauldron? Cauldron is a witch, a wizard, and I'm not that. Notice how you put strength where it is not to be placed. A cauldron is any object that can be watered and boiled. Why does it need to be a wizard's or witch's cauldron? And then I ask them, are all wizards and witches evil? Many of you were witches or witches in previous incarnations. Why so much judgment? I'm not going to change my image. It's a cauldron, boiling, below each one of you. What happens when it boils? The water turns into steam and goes up. So I'm going to increase this cauldron. It has no water. Inside it are all the feelings, everything you've ever lived, all the energies generated. So this cauldron is boiling and the energies are rising and it will continue to boil until there is nothing else to be sublimated. What happens when the energies sublimate and rise? They take care of your conscience and you will somehow have to deal with it. You will have to look at it, and depending on your choices and decisions it can simply leave, be transmuted and stop being part of your cauldron. Or not. You can solidify it again and it will return to the cauldron, only with one difference. It will come back bigger, stronger, deeper. So right now you are dealing with very strange feelings, with feelings that you do not understand, with feelings that make you doubt if you are really on the path of the light. And how to know? It's not running away from feelings, it's looking at them, without fear. They may even have an ugly face, they may make faces, but they are the result of their conscience. So who's in charge? You? So look at them with love, with affection, and you will see how they lose their strength and become small and easy to solve. Or not. Put more fear and anger on them and they will turn into little monsters. The decision is everyone's. My sons and daughters, the cauldrons are boiling, putting the feelings out, and be sure, you will come across so many horrible feelings, and say, no, this is not mine. I'm sorry to tell you that it is, and that you just have to look at it with love and affection, and it will simply disappear when you understand what it meant. My sons and daughters, many obstacles will appear on the way. Look at them with resignation, acceptance, with understanding that the world does not revolve around you, that problem may have been caused for one lesson, not for you, but for the other. And unfortunately you were on the way of that other one and received a little bit of that lesson. So if you accept, you understand, it's all right, you collaborate with the other's lesson. Now if you receive with anger, shouting, complaining about that lesson that was not yours, it becomes two, because you coupled with it, you joined the other's lesson. Now you have two problems, dealing with what didn't happen to you and the feelings you just generated. So, when things don't happen the way you imagine, don't complain. There is a whole conspiracy in the universe for each one's walk. So your walk is intertwined with the walk of many and the lessons of others come to you. It's up to you to get involved in them or not. If you simply accept and let it pass, quite right, it didn't hit you. Your ego couldn't make you believe that it was to hit you. You understood that it was just a setback and that the other is the one who needs to learn something, not you. Oh yes, I would say that you have learned to realize that the world does not revolve around you, that often setbacks are not for you, but that you have to learn to accept them, to understand the other side. Try to think about it, before judging, before criticizing the other and end up absorbing a lesson that is not yours, it is the other's. So I'll go back to the cauldron. The feelings are there, leaving, everyone, and I would say that sometimes they all come out at once, and it is difficult for you to deal with all of them. Once again I say, ask for our help so that we put some things back in the cauldron and you can deal with each one in your own time. But you forget about that. They just complain, rage because they can't handle everything at the same time. Many problems at the same time are a sign that you are trying to carry everything yourself. Ask for our help. We're here. I am not going to tell you that we are doing nothing all the time, sleeping in the net as Miguel says, just waiting for the request for help, but I can assure you that when we hear your request, it is a priority for us, and we will be ready to help you. Ask for our help and we will put a little water in that cauldron for that to boil more slowly and you can deal with everything that is happening calmly and calmly. Don't judge yourself, don't despair, because so many problems are popping up. They need to go up to leave, and the correct way to send them away is to look at them with love, with affection, with acceptance, not with anger, nor judgment. I can assure you that none of you are living an easy time. Some are fine, but from time to time comes something that still needs to be solved. Others are totally involved by everything that is coming up from the cauldron. Everyone is living their own moment. Each one is living their own evolution. It's a shame that many, instead of looking at themselves, look at the other, look at the other's walk. They criticize, judge, attack the other, when it is time to look at themselves, understanding that if the other is doing something wrong he will reap further ahead. He does not need your judgment, your criticism, your finger point. Each one reaps what he plants. Now, your judgment, your criticism, your finger pointing will hit you for sure, because you threw an energy on it. Now do not forget that this energy, depending on the form and intensity you emanated, will come back to you. It doesn't matter when, but it will come back. So what was the use of criticizing the other? You are just adding more negative energies to your cauldron, which I guarantee must be very full, because if you were empty you would no longer be worrying about the other, you would be just looking at yourself, at your walk, which is what every son and daughter on this planet, at this moment, should do. It doesn't matter what you think in relation to the other. Nothing will change in relation to what you think, because the walk is the other's, not yours. So look at your walk, forget the other one. You haven't learned that yet. Remember, there is a cauldron boiling, throwing up all the feelings that you need to transmute, and when you judge and criticize the other, this is another feeling that will go to that cauldron of yours, because you have invaded the energy of the other. You emanated something bad in relation to the other and this will come back to you, into your cauldron. Is that good? Ask yourself, if you are eliminating the feelings from your cauldron or are you adding more every day? My sons and daughters, everything is happening very fast. Look at your walks, forget the others. As much as you within your consciences think, believe, that the other is wrong, the problem is not yours, the problem is the other's. He will be attracting to his cauldron the actions he does. So stop filling yours, take care of what you already have there. Don't increase your problems anymore. Don't forget that. Everyone should take care of their walk. And I'm not worried if you are finding the word cauldron strange or not. I feel the energy of some. Are you judging me or are you judging who is talking? The word is mine and I am bringing this here and now, to test each one of you. How far do your beliefs go? How far will you believe it? How far? Begin to listen to what we say with your heart, because otherwise, every day, more doubts will enter your minds.
That is the frequency of the world right now. The frequency of the world as is in maintaining that energy of up and down and moving right, left, up, down, right, left, up, down. You don't know which way to turn your face or which way to turn your back. So take a deep breath there as beings of light. We must ask you to always remember that divine order is in process. And as you are acknowledging that, we know we've been talking about this for many years, but as you are acknowledging that, you get to see what part you indeed are playing. Because the earth right now is a bit like this bottle of water or you cannot see it because it is blue water. But when you shake a bottle of water, the water bubbles and moves around and then eventually settles in space. So as it settles back into its space, what you are acknowledging, what you are seeing are the bubbles disintegrating and coming back into a place of levelness. Now, it is not like when you shake up a bottle of soda, because that is a man-made device that carbonates all over everything when you put the lid. But water, as the earth, and the earth is made up of water and rocks and earth, no carbonation necessarily there. But so when it is rearranging itself, it is coming into that place of peace. We asked our vessel Marilyn to draw a card this morning from the affirmations from your soul from Cryon. You don't have that, you need to get it. So with that energy, we asked her to draw this card for you. And she thought, well, this is appropriate. I wonder what this is going to have to do with our message, Take a deep breath, dearest. For when you receive guidance in a random world with lots of possibilities, you get to take a breath in order to receive that message. The divinity within me glows with the internal light of the Creator. I am connected with my higher self, and the peace within me is manifested through my entire being. You understand that, and you understand that energy. And as you understand that energy, should we read it again? The divinity within me glows with the eternal light of the Creator. I am connected with my higher self, and the peace within me is manifested through my entire being. So as that peace is manifested through your entire being, just like the bottle of water, it begins to settle the energy in the field. And if you haven't watched the field, you need to watch it, because that shows you the scientific fact behind that importance of keeping your field in that divine flow. Right now, dearest beings of light, your world may be a bit jangled. It may be a bit fruit basket upset feeling, or like someone has just pulled the tablecloth out and all the things are going up and down and we're not knowing which way they're going to land. Well, dearest beings of light, this is the earth you're living on. And the promise of God, or source if you prefer, is that divine order is always in process. So no matter what else is happening, even if you have a Fujimoto thing going on in the Gulf Coast and all the hurricanes are meeting there together to talk and communicate their energy, or as you say, the asteroid is coming into right before the election and it may hit the earth right before the election, and how many people are predicting some disastrous thing to happen in the next few months, Even the astrology is predicting that, as Michelle, dearest being of light, will tell you a bit later. Take a deep breath, dearest. You are living your purpose as you are in assistance to this planet's evolution. You are living your beingness. And as you are acknowledging that, you are a part of that divine order that is indeed in process. Take a deep breath on that one. You are a